It is hard times out there for a chain restaurant. Several popular chains announcing cuts nationwide.
Dining at chain restaurants used to feel like the safest bet. It was simple, predictable, and low risk. No matter which state you were in, you pretty much knew what your plate would look like before you even sat down. But over the last few years, things have shifted. Some chains have stepped up, improving their food and service. Others are just coasting on name recognition, hoping nostalgia keeps you coming back while quality quietly slips. So, which chains are still worth your money and which ones leave you paying for disappointment and walking out frustrated? In this video, we are ranking 10 of the most popular restaurant chains in the United States from worst to best, not based on marketing or commercials, but on real-world experiences, food quality, atmosphere, and how you actually feel after the meal is over. Trust me, the top spot will have you nodding in agreement, while the bottom of the list might make you say, "Wow, why have I been eating there all these years?" Drop a comment with the number you think will end up in last place, because chances are someone else is thinking the same thing. And if you care about stretching your money and avoiding bad meals, make sure you hit subscribe to Frugal Finds for you so you never waste cash on an overrated chain again. 10. Red Lobster, the biggest letdown. The name Red Lobster used to paint a picture of upscale seafood, fresh from the ocean with that coastal charm and a breeze coming off the water. In reality, most diners walk out thinking the same thing. I should have just come for the biscuits and left. Because let's be honest, the Cheddar Bay biscuits are the star of the entire show. Those soft, warm, buttery, garlic-packed rolls are the one thing people rave about, and the main reason some folks still bother going. Plenty of customers literally show up for the biscuits and treat everything else as background noise. For many, the basket of biscuits feels like Red Lobster's way of saying sorry in advance before the entrees even arrive. So what went wrong? The seafood, the whole reason the restaurant exists, often tastes like it has spent more time in a deep freeze than in the ocean. The fish, shrimp, and squid share that same slightly mushy texture with very little real flavor to separate them. It is not offensive, but it is painfully average, especially for a place built on the promise of seafood. Portions are huge, but that just feels like a distraction. You do not go to a seafood restaurant just to fill up. You go because you want something fresh, rich, and memorable. Instead, you get big plates of bland food that leave you full but not satisfied. The pricing makes it even worse. Guests sitting in landlocked states hundreds of miles from the nearest beach are still paying as if they are right on the pier. The decor really tries to sell the fantasy. Nautical lanterns, ocean blue tones, rope details, and paintings of ships and lighthouses. But one look, outside at the strip mall parking lot, and the illusion falls apart. Red Lobster used to feel like a special occasion place for a lot of middle-class families, a place you dressed up for. Today, the most memorable part of the experience is the free bread at the beginning, not the main course you paid for. When the highlight of a seafood restaurant is something that doesn't come from the sea, there's a problem. 9. Subway, where potential goes to die. Subway was once the face of healthier fast food. It had the customization, the variety, and the branding to make you feel like you were building your own fresh, nutritious meal on the go. They even called their workers sandwich artists, as if each sub was a masterpiece in the making. But after enough visits, the reality sets in. What you get is not exciting creativity. It is layered disappointment. The issues start with the vegetables. The commercials promise bright, crisp, freshly sliced produce. In the store, you too often see limp lettuce, pale tomatoes, onions that look tired, and cucumbers that have clearly been hanging out in those bins for a while. It doesn't exactly scream farm fresh. Then there's the meat. The deli slices are often so thin you could practically hold them up and read the menu through them. There is nothing wrong with thin slices, but when your protein looks more like a suggestion than a main ingredient, the sandwich loses its impact. And if you are thinking, okay, but at least the bread is good, you might want to reconsider. A court in Ireland actually ruled that Subway's bread contains so much sugar it doesn't legally qualify as bread. That should tell you everything about how far it is from the simple loaf it appears to be. Even if you try to optimize your sandwich by picking special sauces, loading it with veggies, doubling the cheese, and getting it toasted, the result often looks sad and tastes flat. It is like a rough draft of a good sandwich that never got finished. The build your own model sounds empowering, but in reality, it pushes all the responsibility onto you. If the flavor is off, it feels like your fault for choosing the wrong combination, when really the ingredients themselves should be strong enough to taste good, no matter what. Despite having more locations than any other chain in the world, Subway cannot hide behind size. Every visit feels like a coin flip. You might get an okay sub, or you might end up with something so underwhelming you wish you had just made a sandwich at home instead. Subway's problem is not a lack of ideas, it is the poor execution of those ideas. And in the food business, sloppy execution is unforgivable. If you are enjoying this breakdown so far and want more honest rankings like this, don't forget to subscribe to Frugal Finds for You, so you always know where your money is actually worth spending. 8. Applebee's, the eternal "it'll do" option. Chances are you haven't said, "Let's go to Applebee's" with genuine excitement in a long time. But you have probably ended up there anyway. When you are out of options, the hour is late, and you just need somewhere to sit and eat. Applebee's steps in as the fallback plan. Walk inside, and the decor hits you immediately. It looks like someone turned a neighborhood garage sale into interior design. Old license plates, high school sports photos, random black and white portraits, neon beer signs, and maybe a dusty tennis racket hanging overhead. It is meant to feel warm, nostalgic, and local, but it ends up looking like a cluttered scrapbook. Then there is the food. Many menu items are marketed as if they are made fresh, but behind the scenes, a lot of dishes are more about reheating than cooking. Soups, mains, and even proteins often arrive at the restaurant pre-prepped with grill marks and all, ready to be finished off. It is less from scratch and more from a freezer to a microwave to your table. Yet there is one thing Applebee's does remarkably well: half-price appetizers during happy hour. When that special window hits, the entire place seems to wake up. Mozzarella sticks, wings drenched in sauce, loaded fries. Suddenly the menu makes sense. In that late-night, budget-friendly context, nobody expects perfection. They just want something salty and satisfying to soak up the day. That is what Applebee's really is. Not a destination you dream about, but a place that fills a very specific need. It doesn't amaze you, but it doesn't make you furious either. It lives in the middle. Always average, never unforgettable. It is the sort of restaurant where you sit there thinking, next time I'm definitely going somewhere else. And then a month later, you wind up back there because, once again, every other idea fell through. 7. Domino's, the glow-up story. In the world of fast food, you rarely see a chain publicly say, "Yeah, our food was bad." Domino's did exactly that, and instead of dying out, that brutal honesty saved them. There was a time when Domino's was the punchline of every pizza joke. The crust tasted like cardboard, the sauce was oddly tangy in a bad way, and the cheese felt like an afterthought. People ordered it because it was cheap and convenient, not because they actually liked it. Instead of pretending everything was fine, Domino's listened. They ran campaigns admitting their pizza needed to change. Then they went back to the kitchen and did the work. New crust formula, improved sauce, better cheese, higher quality toppings. Today, Domino's pizza is completely different from its old reputation. The crust has texture, soft on the inside with a crisp edge. The sauce tastes more like real tomato, seasoned on purpose, not by accident. The cheese melts and stretches the way you want it to. The toppings are more consistent and less sad-looking. It still is not gourmet, but it is surprisingly enjoyable for what it is supposed to be. But what truly sets Domino's apart is not just the pizza. It is the delivery experience, the order tracking, the notifications, the app that lets you reorder your favorite meal with one tap. They understand that convenience is a huge part of why people choose them. Ordering from Domino's feels almost like coordinating a small operation. You know when it's being made, when it's in the oven, when it's on the road, and when it'll be at your door. In a hectic world, that level of transparency and predictability feels like a luxury. There are plenty of places that might make a better pizza, but not many that make it this easy. Domino's proves that when a company admits its failures and genuinely improves, customers will give it another chance. 6. Olive Garden, Italian for the American budget. Olive Garden is where people go when they say they are craving Italian food, but what they actually want is something cheesy, saucy, filling, and familiar. It is not truly Italian cuisine, it is the idea of Italian food, filtered through American comfort flavors. You absolutely get pasta, but often it is pasta swimming in heavy sauce, smothered in cheese, sometimes so much that you need to dig around just to find the noodles underneath. At Olive Garden, the silent philosophy seems to be, if you can still see the shape of the dish, it needs more sauce and more cheese. That is not automatically a bad thing. It just means you should not go in expecting anything like what you would get in Rome or Florence. What Olive Garden does exceptionally well is making sure you feel full long before your entree even arrives. The never-ending salad and those famous breadsticks are not just sides, they are tactics. The salad is simple but refreshing. The breadsticks are consistently hot, soft, brushed with garlic butter, and oddly addictive. By the time your plate of fettuccine alfredo or chicken parm shows up, you're already halfway stuffed and a little less likely to notice that many of the main dishes taste pretty similar across the menu. The ambiance tries to mimic Tuscan villas with warm lighting, arches, faux stucco walls, and big paintings of vineyards or countryside scenes. But it still feels like what it is, a chain restaurant next to a shopping plaza trying to dress up as a vacation. It isn't offensive, but it also doesn't transport you anywhere. Yet people keep coming back. Why? Because Olive Garden is reliable. It is an easy choice for birthdays, casual family dinners, or low-pressure dates. You get seated, you are not rushed, you know you will leave full, and the prices are manageable for what you receive. Olive Garden doesn't promise a flight to Italy. It promises a warm booth, a long chat, and a lot of carbs. As long as your expectations match that reality, you will be fine. Just maybe don't show up starving if you plan to demolish the breadsticks first. If you like this kind of honest breakdown that helps you decide where your money actually deserves to go, make sure you are subscribed to Frugal Finds for You. We are here to help you avoid overhyped spots and focus on real value. 5. Raising Cane's, doing one thing right. While most fast food chains try to be everything to everyone, cramming their menus with burgers, salads, wraps, seasonal items, smoothies, and more, Raising Cane's said, no thanks. They focus on one main thing, fried chicken. And they do it so well they don't need a long list of distractions. No burgers, no tacos, no complicated, limited-time sandwiches with 12 ingredients. Just crispy chicken fingers, crinkle-cut fries, buttery Texas toast, coleslaw, fresh lemonade, and that legendary Cane's sauce. It sounds almost too simple, but simple stops being boring when every single component is done with real care. The chicken always comes out hot with a crunchy coating on the outside and juicy meat on the inside. It doesn't taste like it has been reheated 3 times or sitting under a heat lamp for hours. The fries are those thick, crinkle-cut style with a crisp exterior and a soft, fluffy center. The Texas toast is grilled golden on the outside, soft in the middle, and loaded with butter on both sides. At Cane's, buttering just one side would practically be considered disrespectful. And then there's the sauce. Cane's sauce is guarded like a trade secret. Nobody outside the company really knows the full recipe, and honestly, they do not need to. They just know they are dipping everything in it. Chicken, fries, toast. Sometimes, if it drips near the edge of the container, you are tempted to swipe your finger along the lid. Another huge strength is consistency. Whether you are in Louisiana, Nevada, or Ohio, you pretty much know exactly what your meal will taste like. The flavor doesn't swing wildly from one store to another. They know who they are and what they do, and they stay locked in on that. Raising Cane's doesn't chase viral trends, doesn't revamp the menu every season, and doesn't try to pretend it is a gourmet experience. That clarity and focus are exactly why they stand out in a crowded fast food world. 4. Five Guys, honest burgers, overflowing fries. Order a small fry at Five Guys, and you quickly realize that their definition of small is very different from everyone else's. They fill the cup, then pour extra fries into the bag until it's practically bursting, and somehow nobody complains. That overflowing bag of fries is part of their identity. Five Guys is not cheap. You do not go there looking for dollar menu deals or weekly specials. They do not lure you in with coupons or combo gimmicks. Instead, they win you over with quality and transparency. The beef is never frozen, the buns are lightly toasted, the toppings list is long and free. You can customize your burger with up to 15 toppings at no extra charge. You want jalapenos, grilled onions, mushrooms, pickles, BBQ sauce, lettuce, tomato, mayo, and hot sauce all on the same burger? They will nod and make it without flinching or upcharging. Each location also displays where the potatoes came from that day. A chalkboard might say, "Today's fries are from XYZ Farm, Idaho." It is a small detail, but it quietly tells you, we know what we are serving you, and we're not hiding it. The burgers themselves are not trying to be fancy or artistic. They are straightforward, just good beef, cheese if you want it, a soft bun, and your chosen toppings. But the flavor is rich, juicy, and satisfying in a way that feels like a classic burger stand, not a mass-produced chain. While you wait for your order, there is a big bin of peanuts in the shell that you can snack on. It is not there to fill you up. It is there to kill time and give you something to do while you hear the sizzle from the grill. It is a throwback to when diners and burger joints were places to hang out, not just pickup spots for delivery apps. The environment isn't polished, no mood lighting, no high-end decor, just red and white tiles, bright lights, and an open view of the kitchen. Grease pops on the grill. Burgers get wrapped in foil. Fries go into cups and bags. It is all very honest. Five Guys doesn't claim to be cheap, but when you leave, you usually feel like every dollar made sense. Not because it was perfect or luxurious, but because you got exactly what you were promised. A seriously good burger and way more fries than you thought you ordered. 3. Chick-fil-A, fast food with manners. At Chick-fil-A, the best part of the experience is not printed on the menu. It is how you are treated. Yes, their chicken sandwiches are famous, but what really sets them apart is the culture of service behind every order. The menu is incredibly simple. A few variations of fried chicken sandwiches, nuggets, strips, waffle fries, lemonade, and some sides. No wild mashups or gimmicky limited time stunts. Just chicken, buns, pickles, and a few sauces. But that simplicity lets them focus on doing the basics extremely well. The chicken is almost always tender, juicy, and well-seasoned, with a crisp coating that is not greasy or heavy. It is a delicate balance that many chains claim to hit, but rarely do consistently. From the moment you pull into the drive-thru line, the experience feels different. Even when the line wraps around the building twice, it moves faster than most shorter lines at other chains. Employees are outside taking orders with tablets, smiling, repeating your order back clearly, and staying calm even during the rush. Inside, the same thing. People seem genuinely polite, not just memorizing a script. The phrase, "my pleasure," has become a signature. It might sound small, but it signals something bigger. Chick-fil-A built its reputation not just on food, but on making customers feel respected, even when they are serving you in a hurry. And then there is the decision that still surprises people, closing every Sunday. From a business perspective, it is unusual. From a branding perspective, it has made them even more memorable. When you cannot have something one day a week, you tend to want it more. Chick-fil-A is not trying to be fancy. They just keep their promise, serve good chicken, treat people well, and be reliable. That is why many people rank them near the top, not only as fast food, but as an example of how fast food can be done right. 2. Shake Shack, fast food that feels special. If there is one place where ordering a burger almost feels like sitting down for a mini date with your meal, it is Shake Shack. What started as a simple hot dog cart in New York City has become one of the few fast food chains where people expect to spend more and walk away thinking, yeah, that was worth it. The design is sleek and modern, soft lighting, wood accents, simple lines. It is not trying to look like a diner from the past. It is trying to look like fast food from the future. The feeling is casual but a bit elevated, like you should at least pretend you tried with your outfit. When the food arrives, it looks like the marketing photos. The burger patties are browned with a nice sear. The cheese is melted but not sliding off. The lettuce and tomatoes look bright and fresh, not tired or smashed. The buns are soft with a faint sweetness that works perfectly with the savory meat and creamy sauce. Every part of the burger is intentional. Shake Shack treats something as simple as a cheeseburger like it is a small work of craftsmanship. That attention shows up in every bite. Even the fries have a story. Their crinkle-cut fries became so iconic that when the company tried to switch to hand-cut fries for a more natural look, customers complained so much they had to bring the crinkles back. It was a lesson that sometimes the familiar, nostalgic version is exactly what people want. Shake Shack is not shy about its pricing. They are more expensive than typical drive-through spots, and they don't apologize for it. What they offer in return is consistency, quality, and that feeling of getting an upgraded version of something you already love. They aren't really selling fast food for people in a rush. They are selling a moment, a small treat, a better burger, a choice that says, "Today, I picked something nicer for myself." That is not easy to pull off in the fast food world, but Shake Shack does it. 1. Texas Roadhouse, where eating still feels like an event. If there is one chain that feels like a full-on celebration every time you walk through the doors, it is Texas Roadhouse. This is not just a place to quietly eat a steak and leave. It is a loud, energetic, unapologetically fun experience built around comforting, hearty food. As soon as you step inside, there is movement and sound everywhere. Country music plays, servers are moving fast, sometimes line dancing to songs. Peanut shells crunch underfoot in some locations. The air smells like grilled steak and warm bread. It feels alive in a way most chains cannot match. Then there are the rolls, soft, hot, slightly sweet, served with cinnamon butter that tastes like dessert disguised as a spread. You can easily go through half a basket before your actual meal appears. It is dangerously good. The steaks are the backbone of the menu. You can see them displayed in a case at many locations before they even hit the grill. They are seasoned generously, cooked the way you ask, and served with classic sides like mashed potatoes, baked potatoes, green beans, or corn. The flavors are bold, not subtle, and that is exactly what people want when they come here. Portions are big, but unlike some places, the quality holds up alongside the size. You leave full, satisfied, and usually with leftovers for the next day. The atmosphere encourages you to stay, talk, laugh, and enjoy the whole experience, not just rush through your plate. Pricing is another key advantage. For the amount and quality of food you get, the bill is surprisingly reasonable. It feels like you are getting more value than you paid for, which is rare in chain dining these days. Consistency is a massive part of why Texas Roadhouse earns the top spot. Whether you go to Texas, Ohio, Florida, or anywhere else, the vibe, the rolls, and the steaks feel almost identical. They are not trying to reinvent themselves every year. They know what they are, and they lean into it completely. Texas Roadhouse reminds people that dining out can still be an experience, not just a transaction. It is loud, hearty, and full of personality. It is not fancy, but it is absolutely memorable. From chains that only focus on fried chicken to steakhouses blasting country music and handing out free rolls, every restaurant on this list represents a philosophy about food and service. You, as the customer, get to decide which ones deserve your money, your time, and your taste buds. Choose based on the experience, not just habit. Choose real quality over slick advertising. And now and then, give a place you wrote off years ago another chance. You might be surprised at how much it has changed. Which restaurant on this list surprised you the most? Is there a chain you keep going back to, even though you know it is just okay at best? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Your story could help someone else avoid a bad meal or discover a new favorite. If this ranking made you rethink where you eat and how you spend your money each week, go ahead and hit that like button. And don't forget to subscribe to Frugal Finds For You for more brutally honest breakdowns, smarter choices, and money-saving food tips every single week.